Greetings, adventurers, and welcome to GrowedUpGeek Gaming, your home for narrative and roleplay focused tabletop role-playing game action. Tonight, being Tuesday, we are back with our flagship long-term campaign this year, entering our third year together, playing Pathfinder 2nd Edition and our the Adventure Path Bloodlords. We are into Season 2, chugging along. Very excited to be back tonight. Before we get to tonight's big episode, we'll do character intros, quick recap, and then jump right into the promise I make every week about a very big episode. I'll start the intros. I'm Manny, at GrowedUpGeek on your social medias, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube. If you like what we do here, give us a like, follow, subscribe, high five, fist bump, consent given, pat on the butt. Anything to show your support. We really appreciate it. Love knowing that people have a good time and have as much fun with us as we do. We are live Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, twitch.tv/GrowedUpGeek for this. Some more shows will be coming very soon, including the conclusion to Legacy of Blood, our Drow family campaign that desperately needs to finish before we move on to other things on the channel. Pretty sure that's it for me. Let's meet our amazing cast. Like I said, entering our third year, going strong. And then we'll do a quick recap. Let us start with, let's see. Start with Salvatore. You Nick, tell us about Salvatore and as well how you feel about kind of being ducked by like your homegirl. Everybody's been trying to get with Berline for, about 5-6 days now as the adventure is gone. Nothing, and now she just bursts into your house in the morning. You have a friendship with her. You feel all right with her ducking you just to show up and barge into your house?
Well, Salvatore, he understands the game, and he did, because she wasn't there, he did get a chance to schmooze and, I guess, unwittingly dose the Lord Governor of GrowedUpGeek, but he seemed to have a good time, so
I'm sure he will eventually be fine.
And I play Salvatore. He is a cleric of Urgathoa. Yeah, and just looking to drain some memories and have a good time, and he's having a pretty good time. Good party. Nothing got destroyed too much. Kept it classy.
Yeah. I mean, Land of the Undead, man. Things have to last. It's not like you sign like 40-year leases. So, awesome. Glad to have you. Let us move over. Kreegan, kind of the source of the new piece of decor in the house. Tell us about Kreegan, how you felt the party went, and what you think about the new kind of centerpiece to the house.
Yeah, so Kreegan, he, as an orc, he felt like it was a very proud moment that his fellow orcs would make that statue for everyone, especially given that orcs don't normally get too much respect in Gab. They're dead, but even the quick in Gab tend to think of them as maybe not quite as bad as the dead, but like the bringer of the dead, if that makes sense. They think the orcs are going to kill them half the time. So Kreegan really likes the appreciation, and the rest of the party, he doesn't even care. He was happy that everyone got to spend time. He didn't really care that Berline didn't come because Kreegan was mostly just wanting the party to go well for Salvatore's sake. And I guess he was a little bummed out that Berline didn't come. But now that she's here, Kreegan thinks that it'll make up for her. At the very least, when Kreegan talks to Berline, it usually means that he gets to kill something. So he's a little excited.
She has a type of favor she typically asks, so yeah, it's probably safe to assume. All right, let us slide down to our kind of more socially awkward goblin nonplus with the blunderbuss. Party went down. Previous night, maybe a little more festive for Milk. Tell us about our little buddy and kind of how he felt during this big party last week.
I am Tenta. I play Milk. Milk was not really sure what was going on at the party or what the point of it was. He was just kind of enjoying the fact that there were people around to hang out with. He didn't really understand why, though. To be totally fair, he was like, I don't know why these people are here, but they're here. Salvatore keeps telling me stuff. It's just going one ear and out the other. So he was just confused, but had a great night. And in the end, when Salvatore was happy, he was happy that Salvatore was happy. So there you go.
There you go. Everybody kind of wins.
If Salvatore could share his feelings, he'd be really, blushing right now, overjoyed. But this is all repulsing him.
He's all, stop sharing.
Yeah, this is not what I'm here for. I like to steal things.
Take this information.
Yeah, I like to steal things, not be given it. Gross.
You guys go take a nap so that I can just suck these memories out.
Can I just get this, like, the Memories for Dummies version?
All right, fabulous. And we slide over to last, our human and absolutely most alive member of the party. So, Lou, tell us about Vorys, and same thing. You have a thing for Berline. She's kind of plucked you from regular guard duty into kind of the right hand of the local bloodlord. You feel some type of way that she seems to have been ducking you for the last couple of days, and then how you feel about her just barging into the crib like this.
I'm Lewis. I have been playing Vorys this season, and so far he is a cop with an attitude. So yeah, that's the best I can really come with him. Is he's got the attitude to back up his newly found position that Lady Berline has given to him. And he's definitely down with it, because it definitely took him from where he was, which is not in the upper echelons of society, and it put him back into the upper echelon of society, which Vorys likes to be in. So, yeah. Other than that, that she just kind of like showed up randomly after the party was over at our house, like after kind of like snubbing our invitation. It kind of irritated Vorys, especially because he doesn't like getting woken up, especially to people coming to his house
Early too,
yeah.
bro. She just barged in.
It's one of those things. Like, Vorys is just like, God, what is it now, woman?
All right, amazing. This is our amazing cast. Everybody's got to be cool if we've been doing this now for going on 3 years, and I'm thankful to have them every single week for us to do this. And here we go. All right, so last week we finally got to Salvatore's big party. All of the preparations, all of the little details that our creepy little memory stealing friend thought of came to fruition. All of the guests that were invited arrived, except for one kind of embarrassing thing. Recently, they decided not to be part of it. And conspicuously absent once again from any interactions was the local bloodlord, Berline Haldoli, who, despite having an invitation and having a smashing time with Salvatore just a few days earlier at the Lord Governor's mansion, had not been available at her estate and had thus snubbed the invitation. Salvatore persevered on, impressed the other guests, drugged the Lord Governor, and in the process, the party received a series of gifts from most of the factions in town to thank them for furthering not only the party's interest and agenda, but also the interests and agendas of factions that maybe the party had not thought of. Maybe they had made this choice intentionally, with the case of Kreegan, particularly making sure that the Builders, the faction that he is associated with, retained the property that had been in dispute with the tax collectors union earlier in season 1. After the party, which went really smashingly well, started to die down and guests started to go to sleep, guests started to leave. The party went to sleep. Salvatore went off about his nocturnal business. When at the ripe time of dawn, the door bursts open. A familiar, diminutive little voice can be heard. Get up, bitches. It's time for breakfast. As Berline makes her triumphant return to the party's presence. And with that, we will pick up episode 4, season 2 of Bloodlords. Better late than never, ironically enough. For the first time in hours, the house has been quiet. The party is over with. Everybody who needs to sleep, sleeps. Salvatore goes about his thing. And then, like I said, at the ripe time of like 30 seconds into daylight, the door just bursts open, despite your guards outside, as well as what would believe to be a secure door. And in bursts your friend, Berline. In tow, 2 skeletons. One dressed in a more feminine kind of maid ensemble, and one of them really kind of done up in what appears to be half-plate armor, carrying a large broadsword. That skeleton remains by the front door in the foyer, as the more kind of valet servant one follows quickly on the heels of Berline, carrying an enormous basket.
Very nice.
Milk hears all the kerfuffle and comes up from the basement in his morning robe, which looks like a red, shiny Ric Flair robe, and it says "Milk" across the back.
Has it got feathers?
Oh yeah, it's
Sequins?
got the feathered collar.
Nice.
Yeah, he's looking like $1 million. He comes out and he's rubbing his eyes and he's like, "Who's here? Aberline? Who?"
And
Jeez.
as everybody kind of gathers their faculties, it being early in the morning, Berline has made a beeline directly for the dining room table, beckoned her skeletal servant to follow, at which point the skeleton puts the basket on the table, and when it hits, you can tell that it is heavy.
What was that?
Oh,
Now Milk's curious. He's sniffing at it.
I've bought breakfast. I feel terrible for my absence of late, and I wanted to make it up to you. So I have bought breakfast for everyone.
Milk comes running up to the table, his giant bat ears flapping. He's like, "Heck yeah, breakfast!" And he jumps over the table and has a seat on the bench on the other side.
So she sits down. The skeleton opens the basket and starts pulling out little containers, and on the top of them are your names, like 2-3 containers each.
Heck yeah, like a HelloFresh situation. Kind of.
And as they get pulled out, she has the skeletal servant like open up, and you can see her. She has this ring on her right hand with like a green stone, and you can see her like waving over it, and then looking at the stone, and then nodding to the skeleton, and the skeleton then picks up the container and puts it in front of the person. Next container, opens it up, ring over the top of it, looks at the ring, gives the nod, until everybody's food has been dispersed.
Kreegan is going to have a little bit of a curious look to his eyes and say, "What brings you here this early in the morning?"
Like I said, I wanted breakfast. I've missed you boys, to be honest. I've been off kind of doing Bloodlord stuff. And I wanted to have breakfast, and I feel like we should continue the conversation we had at dinner the other night.
Yes. First, I'm sure that your work has included some very fun events. Tell us, how was it?
I haven't really been doing much. I've been following up on some of the things you found out from the Crooked Coffin. And it's taken me a little bit out of town, but nothing that entertaining. Why don't you guys tell me about this party? I heard it was quite the endeavor, so much even causing the Lord Governor to cancel his own Lunar Festival party and attend yours.
You'll have to ask the Bella Tirana that question. He put it all together. Very well done. And he's going to kind of give the floor to Salvatore.
So Salvatore's gonna wait for like everybody to go sit at the table, and he's gonna take off all of his ceremonial gear and like wipe off all of his makeup. And it's like if you ever got like stood up for a date in an 80s rom-com, and then the person shows up late, so you have to pretend like you don't care that they actually showed up at all. So after everyone sits, he'll like come in this other like side entrance, be like, "Oh, you're here! It's so good to see you. Oh, you brought breakfast. How nice!"
I'm sorry I missed your party, darling. I heard it was quite the affair, and that many people have told me that I should have been here, and for that I am sorry.
He'll go like sit down like right next to her, be like, "Oh, it was nothing. It wasn't even anything. We'll have more parties. It will be fine. You can come next time. It will be even better than this one. This one actually wasn't even that much fun."
I heard quite the contrary. From what I understand, the Lord Governor is going to need more than a few days to recover, but that seems more like a him problem than anything. But no, come, sit, eat. Tell me, how have you been? I've heard you've been to the estate a couple of times, dropped somebody off. I assure you they are being put to good use. So yes, what have you been up to? What's going on in town? I only just arrived back just now.
There's been a big celebration. Everybody is eating food again. So all of these warm-bodied ones are not so upset, which is nice. It's a lot quieter when they're happy.
She, being one of those warm-blooded people, kind of nods. Yes, typically we are.
Oh shit, I forgot she's alive.
But yes, as far as people eating again, very happy. You saw me in the ring over all of your food. Just poison detector. Just want to be sure that chapter is behind us.
Chapter.
Yes. Good.
That's a pretty handy little magic item she's got there. She just kind of like poison detector fucking rings our food, and she just gets like the glow if it's good or not.
Nice. That's pretty sweet.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. As an alive person, I would love to have one of those.
as somebody who can benefit from it in the same way that she can, that would be nice.
I would love to have that.
So what's going on in town? How was the festival?
It seemed like it was back to its usual height.
Good. It's good to hear. We can't have a significant part of our population not feel like they are safe here, or to be the victim of a poisoning scheme. So I'm glad that you were here to solve this issue just in time for the festival.
It seemed like there were more click than the dead.
And when you're dead and potentially alive or have existed for hundreds of years, one festival is not that big. But for the short-lived amongst us, and she's gonna look at Vorys and kind of acknowledge herself, every little thing kind of matters sometimes. And so when you're pushed up against the fear of extinction, probably want to celebrate the next day.
I was
Vorys will look,
14 when I died.
yeah, I was about to say, Vorys will look towards Milk and go, "You remember those bright sunny days you used to have?" Yeah. Oh, you don't? Oh, well. Just remember that enjoying just the sun hitting your skin is an amazing feeling.
You remember what food tastes like?
Do you remember what feeling felt like?
He's only been undead for like 2 months, and he's like, I don't know.
Got an idea. So she starts eating and just, is just kind of, you can see she looks happy to be around you guys. Continues to eat. The skeleton by the door stands there rigidly at attention, hand on his sword. And every time she finishes something, the skeletal servant pops up a new container for her. She does her little ring thing and just continues to eat, just shoveling in all of this food.
I will usher for Argoon to kind of bring some of the pastries that he's been working on to kind of bring to the lady and say, it's like, if you like good food, check what our boy's been doing.
And so he's going to scurry out and hop up on the table, give her like a little bow. She gives him like a little pat. It's good to see you again, old friend. I hear you've picked up some new skills with your new patrons here. And like, if a disembodied hand could be like embarrassed and blushed, Argoon just did. Just kind of like all shucks and like the little kicking of the dirt kind of thing. I'd love to show you everything I've done. And oh yes, of course, my friend. And so he scurries in and comes back, and she's like, I hope you don't mind. And she waves the ring over everything and just starts to eat. Oh wow, mistress, I've seen you eat everything that you brought, plus everything. You don't have to gorge yourself on my behalf. No, it's a byproduct of where I've been. Yeah, when was the last time you all saw me?
It seems like what,
We're at the
3-4 days
It's
ago?
like 4 days. It's been like 4 days
Yeah.
since dinner with
I was gonna say,
at the Lord
it felt
Governor's
like
house.
3 or 4 days since her house. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's like half a week it seems, my lady.
Oh, okay. It's just, where I've been, time gets a little weird. And so I'm glad that I haven't been gone too long. Obviously it felt like I was gone longer. And I'm just really hungry. And so she just keeps like shoveling food in.
Have you been on a different plane?
I've been to an enchanted place, and she kind of, okay, I guess we'll get to it. And she kind of pushes her food aside. I've been doing the research into this Kepgetta that you slayed at the Crooked Coffin Tavern. Turns out she is the daughter of the member of a hag coven who have set out to poison the food supply. I found this out by kind of looking into a couple of leads. Some of them extracted against people's will, if you may. The coven called the Graveclaw, and Iron Tavia is the mother of this Kepgetta, member of this coven, and apparently was the motivating force for Kepgetta to poison them here.
Hold on. The IT department is poisoning us?
She kind of has like a little chuckle. Indeed, it would seem.
Will you send those names in the chat?
Yes.
Kreegan is kind of, his face is gonna just be like, say less. He is going to have a huge grin on his face. He's like, we would be happy to help you with this problem. And he's just kind of like almost like act like he's yawning, but just kind of put his hand on his sword on his back and be like, yep, we'll handle this problem for you. We're more than excited.
They have quite the reputation, as I have discovered, and while I appreciate your enthusiasm, Kreegan, it would not be fair to you should I not warn you about, in addition to this hag coven, but also where it is. It is in the Axon Woods, a known convergence point for certain planes of existence.
I've heard of the Axonwood. The man in the blue hat used to talk about it.
So
Very familiar with the plains.
it is just southeast of here. I know that this Annis hag lives in the city or in the woods. I'm curious about this coven. An undetectable poison, testing it on farmers. Like, what's the point? And why would somebody even do such a thing in Geb, where the punishment is, let's be honest, severe?
Maybe they think they're above the punishment, or that they'll never receive it.
Or maybe this goes high, or maybe this goes higher.
Kreegan's gonna kind of like put his hand over his mouth towards Vorys and kind of like whisper towards Vorys. It's like, what is a convergence point of the plains? He's like totally lost.
She's gonna have a good laugh because she thinks you're kidding.
So Vorys will look towards him and he'll just go afterwards.
He's just gonna kind of like lower his head, like,
Because it's definitely one of those things that like I definitely want to explain to him, but I don't want to let her see that I'm telling him exactly what she's saying. Like I'm literally like dumbing it down for her in front of him. I don't want to do that, so I'm just gonna kind of go.
So Salvatore, like, what if this plot goes even higher than just Grey Dirt? If they obviously want to kill the Quick, so they would have to change the entire system of Geb itself in order to make their deeds not criminal.
It has to be somebody big, or
Somebody with enough power
their
that they can hide whatever they're
their
doing.
motivation has to be serious. This cannot be it.
I say we find a hag and wrings the information out of them.
Good. I was just about to say. I know it's a lot to ask. You have this lovely new home here, and seem about as comfortable. Of course, and so generously done and well deserved. And there's no doubt you are as comfortable as ticks in a pool of blood here.
Nice.
Like I said, these are the ones I don't ever mention. But I do need you to go to the Axon Wood and find this iron trivia.
you need not worry. We will go to these plains of convergence,
There
and
you
we
go.
will
Like, Boris will look towards him and
Sound
nod
it
his
out.
head. Yep. There you go. There you go. You got it, buddy. You got it.
we will root out these people, and we will drag them back alive or dead. He's like pumped up. He sees everyone like cheering for him for getting the word right. He's like, yeah, know what I'm talking about.
Good. I was gonna say, once you figured it out, I need you to clean it up. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. I need them eliminated. It'll be the best fate for everyone involved. Anyone she's in league with, I guess the rest of her coven, sought to inflict death on a mass scale. This mustn't go unpunished. No, it mustn't. I'm responsible to enact some justice, and I'm doing so through you.
Would you like us to close the convergent point?
Those have existed for years. I don't know that you can. Just be wary of them. And then if you have any questions, yeah.
Ask me.
Does it seem they have more power closer to the point?
I would imagine that is the reason why her lair is probably there. I don't have a location on the other members of the coven just yet. That's something maybe Tavia could provide for you. But I would assume it is not a coincidence.
We will bring you back the information, and if she has any long, nice fingernails, we'll bring you those too.
Ooh, I have a collection. Yes, I heard the last set maybe boiled in a alchemical experiment, shall we say? So,
Oops.
any
Boris will look at his hands, still kind of like, yeah. You
So-
could say that.
so anything, a little memento to keep as a token of retribution well served would be much appreciated.
Their heads is a traditional trophy.
Very well. As far as the Axon Woods go, it's a fairy forest, dark, gloomy, haunted, so it's just the greatest.
Yeah.
Just, you know the rules of the fairies. Just
Don't touch what you can't eat.
There are no rules.
be careful. Do not anger them. I have influence, but not power with them. Does that make sense?
Means they heard of you, but you can't get us out of a sticky situation.
And she nods her head.
One is a smart one.
Hey man, you don't get to be a city guard by being a dum dum.
And as she kind of like nods at Vorys, she's gonna snap her fingers, and the guard skeleton ambles his way over. Very proper, like still got like good goose stepping form. As he makes his way over, throws this map down in the middle of the table.
Oh, all right.
You're just gonna head southeast of here, make your way through the woods as best you can. The location I have marked is a best guess, as we know the source of energy and power in the Axon Woods. A straight, direct line is not necessarily your best way to go.
I see two straight lines. Like Vorys is like totally thinking logic right now. Like I see two straight lines I could get her from.
And she's showing, like, this is the map she's showing us, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kreegan, this will be the last joke of this, I promise, because I don't want to open it. He's going to be like, I thought there was plains. This looks like trees. This is a forest. And he's going to, kind of think that he just, really outsmarted her. Like, you
I
call
did
it.
it. Yeah, I did
Yeah.
that. I said that.
She's gonna kind of pause for a second, look at Kreegan, and kind of subtly signal to Vorys. Just you can explain it to him later. It's not that big of a deal.
Just I kind of look at her. Don't worry, I got this. I got this. I got a couple of dum-dums I gotta explain this to.
And because of the nature and positioning of the moon last night being the lunar festival, time is kind of the essence before some of these convergent lines either intensify or diminish. And most of this information that I'm bringing to you fresh from my return will no longer be valid.
So this is like the last pass of our U2 spy plane, is what you're saying?
This was the last time. This was the most recent intel, and if you would like it to stay good, y'all need to get moving.
Heard. We need to move now.
Understood.
Make sure I got everything.
Before we leave the house, Salvatore needs to pry the big hand out of his spandex gimp suit, his latex gimp suit, so that he doesn't chafe while
It's
we're
all
gone.
it is all pruned up. Like you've had your gloves on at work for way too long.
Too long.
Yeah.
You waited too long.
Yeah.
I'm sure that Milk has some kind of powder down in the basement that we can use.
Something for chafing.
Yeah, we'll dry them out, some ash or something we can, dry them out. And then I'll put the nice, well-fitted and tailored fingerless glove on him. So it's like a workout glove that he has on now, like little shorts. If he could smuggle plums, he would be.
She's finished everything Argoon has brought for her. She has eaten all of her containers. She seems to have basically spilled the beans for everything she knows. She throws the map down, gives you a point, kind of gives a subtle little hand gesture to the more valet of the two skeletons, and the skeleton promptly begins to kind of pack up all the little containers back into this giant basket. I thank you as always for your service to GrowedUpGeek and to myself. As per our agreement, you will be very well compensated upon completion. And I thank you. I do apologize again for being absent, but it was in preparation of gathering all this information for you. And I hope that we can continue to solve problems together.
Salvatore's going to give her the official Reanimator's handshake.
Okay.
And then the deepest bow possible. You are very welcome, and we will be speedy in our return with the information and the bodies and fingernails.
Heads.
Anything. She's like, I look forward to adding a hag to my collection. And you seem exactly like the type to make that happen. As always, I thank you for your service. And if I could have a moment alone with Vorys, that would be great. And she kind of packs up all of the stuff. Read the room, pay attention. There we go.
Sorry, I had
You're good. Yeah.
emergency.
You're good. She asked to speak with you in private and kind of sends.
Oh yeah,
everybody-
I kind of like look at everyone and I'll kind of like I'll look at her and look at everybody else and I'll usher her into the master bedroom.
Okay. She's, oh, I like what you've done with this place. This room seems to be very secure. Don't worry, I won't tell anybody that it's there.
It's not that I'm worried that it's there. It's a matter of, can you find it from the outside?
I can, but as we've stated, I am, yeah. But the reason why I've asked you back here is you and I suffer from essentially a unique condition here in Geb, and that condition is being quick. In a party with the dead, such as yourselves, and some of the local laws as they exist prohibiting positive healing, I would like your service to continue to me. And in order to make that easier, I am offering you the opportunity to become a Dampier and not be subject to the healing rules of the quick.
And Vorys will kind of like this kind of like weighs heavy on Vorys for a second, as he like you kind of see him contemplate, like really contemplate this, what she says, and you would be willing to turn me, but to keep me myself.
It is something to give, but not giving all, such as some of your compatriots. It is a choice that maybe you are not prepared to make, but is an offer I would like to extend.
So, with this offer that you have made, I graciously accept the offer that you have given me, but I wish to live my life out until it seems necessary to take your gift.
So you do not want it before you depart for the Axon Woods?
No.
Okay.
I wish to have my senses upon me. For I know that with the certainty of heightening other ones, the dulling of my live senses would be the greatest detriment to this group.
I do not...
It seems that I am the odd man out here.
And she gives you a smile, is completely understanding of your choice. As a quick as well, I have the power to give this to myself, and yet I choose not to. I would like to accomplish as much as I can within a living lifespan before dealing with bigger choices that move closer to seeming immortality. Just the offer is standing. Whenever you are ready, feel free to find me at my estate. And I don't want your compatriots to get creeped out. So if there's nothing else, I will be going. Thank you for hearing me out. And yeah, good luck on your trip to the woods.
So and with that, I'll graciously thank her, and I'll do the kind of like I'll walk her out as she leaves, and I'll like as she's walking, I'll go, I really would like to appreciate everything that you have done for me thus far. I know being a quick in this civilization, as we say, is difficult. The decisions that we make forge the future, I believe.
And in the land of undead, the future is a very long period of time. And so as Vorys and Berline are going to make their way out of the Master's Suite, engaged in what appears to be very cordial conversation, and he shows her out. She waves very politely to everybody. Thank you. Sorry for interrupting your morning. And I look forward to hearing about your successes. And she snaps her fingers, and her little skeletons fall in line behind her. And out the front door she goes, leaving your house empty, still with a great aroma of all the food she brought, and the hanging mystery of what her and Vorys discussed.
So I'll do the whole like turn around and like close the door, and like with a big heavy sigh, just kind of like think to myself like, I think that went well. And I'll walk back towards the rest of my compatriots.
Oh, lucky 7 minutes of heaven with Berline. And then Salvatore will like sigh and roll his eyes like, I wish.
Would you like to know what we talked about?
Yeah, spills the tea.
Well, one day I'll tell you.
Got him. But
Do you want to know? Yes. Tough. Oh, you thought I was going to tell you. I was just curious if you wanted to know. That's it.
I just wanted to know if you wanted to know.
I'll wait till you take it now.
Yeah, you can extract what he knows.
That's kind of what Vorys figured. Like if you really wanted to figure out, you'd figure it out.
You could. All right, so it's kind of late. It's getting to be about noonish. After she left with her breakfast and all the petty gossip and discussion, and I hate when this happens. There we go. As the house cleans up, Argoon kind of cleans up the last little bit from the party the night before. What would everybody like to get into as the day kind of goes on? Milky Boy.
Milk is going to he's going to take one last trip to the weapon vendor.
Okay.
That's what he wants to do before the end of the day.
Okay. What are you going to get there?
Hopefully a new gun.
Are you going to talk to Red?
Yeah, well, we had talked to him a couple of days ago about doing that.
You saw him.
So
you literally saw him yesterday.
Yeah, we literally saw him like last night.
And I was there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you saw him. You saw him yesterday.
And when we saw him, when Vorys and Salvatore went into town, he could potentially be being questioned in connection with a murder. So.
Oh,
yeah, it's not the best time to go perusing through his store, as we say.
You're right.
Maybe he might not be there. It's a great time to go perusing through his store.
He's got to make that bail money.
Yeah, everything's half off. All right, Salvatore. What else?
Gonna clean.
Go ahead.
Salvatore's pretty good on stuff in town. I guess just like go don his fanciest apparel to wear into a murky haunted wood. So I'll go get my big headdress back on. Like I'll basically get dressed like I was at the party again with the same...
Like you care what people think now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I just had to make Berline think that I didn't care that she missed the party.
Yeah. Just being casual. No big deal. All right. Kreegan.
Yeah, Kreegan, since he was rewarded so much from the efforts that the party put in. He is going to go to the orc community. He is going to get some orc tattoos. For anyone who wants to look up the item, it's called the 100 Victories tattoo. And he's going to get that, and he's also going to get a striking rune applied to his weapon to get that extra weapon die damage.
Nice. Salvatore will definitely go with you to watch you get tattoos.
And
It's
then
not tattoos. He's going to get scarified.
Yeah.
Tell him that, dog. It's not tattoo. It's scarification.
Well, I mean, he'll be into like watching him like potentially like the smallest wince of pain appear on his face. Salvatore will know that's a big deal, and he'll be like, "Oh God, yeah."
oh God, I wish I'd be in that brain right now.
Can I
anyone
hold
is,
your hand while it's happening?
please.
If anyone is interested in the flavor text of this, it's 100 cuts filled into diamond-shaped scars represent the ability to withstand the attacks of your enemies. Orc warriors covet these scar patterns and cluster them around what they consider to be their strongest assets. And for Kreegan, he's going to do his his chest with it because never quit, never back down, always get back up.
All right.
Nice.
And then Vorys.
So, like, having seen her out the door, I'll kind of look back towards everybody and go, I don't really have much to do, but I would enjoy a day out in the town.
Okay. All right. Shopping montage. Salvatore, you going?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Everybody's going to town, yeah?
Fancy
Yes.
as hell.
Okay. Let's see.
Last minute preparation.
Orc. Let's see. Kreegan's going to see orcs and shopping. Milk shopping. Vorys, you're going where? You're just going out for. You're just coming with.
Yeah, I'll go out and then I'll see. So the last time I looked for a weaponsmith, homeboy ended up dead.
See.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if there's like any sort of more information on that.
Okay. All right.
Real quick, were you going to get a striking rune as well, Lewis?
I think I already have one on my longsword.
We doing?
Well, I think you had
thought I
the
did.
potency rune, but I don't know if you had the.
Striking
no, I
gets you
do
extra
have-
dice, like damage dice.
Okay, so yeah, I do have
Yeah.
the potency.
I'd like to get a
um,
striking rune.
If you want a striking rune, it's like 65 gold, I think is what it is.
I'm not worried about money right now.
Yeah.
I got
Blush.
I want.
Black
I
right
want one.
I think Tenta, you already had one, I think, because we got one off of that one, and we gave it to you
I
because
thought it
you
was
have.
just a potency rune.
No, it was
Look at your sheet, man.
yeah. I believe that you put it on your gun. I'm like 99% sure there was a striking rune in that loot that we got. I guess I could be wrong, but like I remember being super excited seeing something in there
Yeah,
and
you
saying that.
have a +1 striking blunderbuss.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, it was really only Lewis and I that needed one now.
All right. So reds and orcs. Those are the two places that you guys have on the list. Anybody else? Anywhere else?
And Lewis, you remember how to put the striking rune onto the weapon, right?
I think so. It's right click on it, right?
Go to the weapon and hit the edit. Edit. It's right next to the little trash can.
Yeah.
And then details. And then under the material composition and runes, it'll say like precious material, potency rune, striking rune.
yeah, I got a potency rune on it.
Awesome. So yeah, slap on a striking on there, and you'll have that extra weapon damage die.
Is it?
And it should say that your weapon is now a level 4 weapon, right? Just to confirm
Yes.
that. Awesome.
Okay.
Sorry, Manny. Go
You're good. Are those the only two places anybody wanted to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Golden Grams.
All right, so you're gonna make your way to Reds. As you come up on the street, the line significantly shorter than it has been. Still there, though. Only about a block and a half down. These people looking a little less kind of desperate and emaciated than the people of the last couple of days waiting in line. The previous weaponsmith store, for it only having been 2 days, is now completely empty. Like, you walk by, all the windows are open, all the things from a storefront, and you look in, and it is just an empty shop. You can see all the way to the back. Furniture's gone, all the inventory's gone, everything about it just gone.
That seems very fast. Vorys is, in the law enforcement business in this town, and it seems very fast that homeboy got killed a day ago, and then all of a sudden his shit is now cleared out.
And Reds is in here already?
Reds is like the next shop over.
There's one. It goes weaponsmith, shop, Reds is on the end.
Yeah.
So they're all on like one block with.
Think of it like a strip mall.
Yeah. The middle unit is an unknown one. As far as for this argument, the weaponsmith, unknown store, Red is the end unit, and then the line from his shop goes down another block and a half of people waiting to get in. What you guys want to do?
I want to look into the shop that's between the Reds and the weaponsmith as well while I'm right here.
Okay. Give me a perception check. Might as well just have you guys roll some dice here for get back in that habit. Oh, I guess I need this.
Wow.
What a way to start the rolling.
Yeah, right.
Get it out of the way.
All right.
You don't know what kind of shop it is. Whatever it is, it hasn't been open for a while. All of the things that you can kind of see through the windows, everything's like tarped over, heavily dusted, like just dusty as all hell.
Is there anybody in line that's right next to me or anything like that?
No, it for all intents and purposes, it's basically abandoned or vacant, sort of. It's got stuff in it, but yeah, it's got stuff in it, but it doesn't look like this is like a business.
All right, so does the line wrap? So does it go past the empty one, past the weaponsmith, or does it go like
the other
around
direction?
The corner.
So
it like wraps around the corner.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I kind of want to like walk down towards the end of the line, like to get in the line to go to Reds, and I want to go, man, what happened to that store right next to there? I used to buy stuff there. Well, whatever happened to there? Just kind of like walking down the line, muttering to myself, not really asking a question out loud, but like looking for that like nosy person that's willing to like divulge information.
Somebody, as you walk by, kind of pipes up and goes, yeah, the owner like went on a trip or something a couple of years ago and just never came back.
Like you've noticed that too, right? Like this store is just never open anymore,
it was like a bookstore or something. My wife used to go there all the time. Yeah, they just like up and kind of disappeared a couple of years ago.
You don't find that weird either? Like, I mean, I'm sitting here looking for vacant property all over the city, and look at this place. It's boarded up for years, and I can't get it.
I don't know. I mean, it's not available. There's no sign in front. I mean, I'm sure somebody probably scooped it up. You know, real estate here in Greater is just crazy.
Yeah, it's hate against the quick. I know how it is.
Probably. I mean,
like walking through the line.
Isn't it always like you get a bunch of people like, hell yeah, brother.
They fucking hate us live,
Yeah.
people.
Tucker Jim, Tucker.
They took our polls.
And you guys just gonna all get in line? What's everybody doing?
Getting in line?
Is there any other way? There's Salvatore will go to the back of this building to see if there's like a window or another door.
There is a door. Looks pretty secure from the outside.
Does it look locked?
I don't know how something looks locked.
Well, I guess we'll feel it. Let's try and open it. I want to go around and
Looks locked to me.
definitely you could see the way it sits.
All right, are you gonna touch it?
Look at that
Yeah.
doorknob, man.
Give me-
That's got the locked doorknob if I've ever seen one.
Milk, give me a fortitude save, please.
All right. Fortitude.
Yes.
Shit.
Oh!
Wham!
This thing is going to just absolutely give you a jolt. And there are certain things that you've noticed that your sensation and your sensory abilities for certain things are different now that you're dead than when you were alive. And whatever it was that was guarding this door, you get this feeling that if you had been alive, you may not be anymore. But to you, just just like touching a doorknob with, static electricity in the wintertime, you get like a little shock, but nothing really damaging.
It's one of those ones where you like get like that like chill through your body, and you're just like, man, that could have been bad.
That could have been bad.
Yeah.
Am I in shock? Am I okay? Did that not go well? But it is locked despite all of that.
Okay.
Damn.
Now we know for sure.
Damn, dude. See you with your 30 fucking fortitude save.
I mean that lock
Yeah.
just hurt you. I feel like that's a personal attack, and you should get retribution on that lock for hurting you by shooting it with your blunderbuss and picking the lock at the same time.
You're not wrong. Milk hisses at the door, then pulls his blunderbuss out. He's like, starts
hold on.
packing it.
So like one of those things is like Vorys is standing there, and you just all of a sudden like grab the doorknob, get shocked, and then you're like, and you like whip out your gun, and I'm like, whoa, everybody, stand back.
He's gonna take a shot at it. Screw you.
Everybody get down as he like blasts the door.
Does that open the door?
You blast away at it, and whatever you shot at it seems to just not impact it and ricochet off, but to just melt against this like purplish kind of aura that surrounds this lock.
Kevin McAllister's in this house.
Milk kind of like calms down for a second and starts critically evaluating it. He's like, this thing's magically warded. No wonder I can't shoot through it. He's like, we're going to have to find another way in. We're going to have to go wait in line.
As you just like put your blunderbuss back over your shoulder, you're just like, oh well. Like, you just turn around back to like, I'm standing in line again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Milk will demurely return to his spot in line.
Vorys is just standing there like, is that what you did? Like, what did you do?
Nothing. Nothing happened.
I see that. What were you trying to do?
I was gonna get that lock off, but it's magically warded. Nothing I can do about that.
Him saying it's magically warded, I'll just kind of like step out of line and like back a couple paces towards the door, like, magic, you say, eh?
Yep.
I'd like to Arcana that door.
Okay. Ooh, nice.
Womp, 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 womp.
What are you looking for? What's going on with it?
I'm trying to figure out why my boy here, the master locksmith, can't blast this door open.
The magic used to guard this back door, it looks familiar to you. In your capacity as a member of the city guard, you have seen this used on things like the Lord Governor's office when he is out of town. Anything that the top level people in the city use to keep a building secure, this is the same.
So this is like one of those locks that you're like, damn, you don't just get one of these locks. Like you gotta have one of these locks like custom made.
I'll cast Dispel Magic on it.
All right, so what do you guys do? You roll?
Yes, sir.
And you know how the counteract roll.
Yeah, it's in.
work,
It's.
right?
I would say it's written out right there.
Oh, in the chat.
Yeah.
Awesome.
As you hit it out there, Salvatore, you guys are just in the back of the line, still trying to look like you're in line, but still tinkering with this lock. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We're doing the whole like, yeah, we're in line kind of thing, but like
Coats
standing in
spread
like
out.
a semicircle around the door.
Yeah. Salvatore, you're gonna hit it. You're gonna nail this thing. It's going to waver in its magic for a brief moment, and then go right back to it.
Shice!
So, having seen Salvatore kind of almost succeed on the lock, it's one of like Vorys will tell him like, I think we need someone with a little bit more clearance in this town. I believe we might need to talk to our friend. She might have some information on this building. She at least knows who the owner is.
The line moves slowly but surely, one group at a time. Sometimes you watch somebody go into the shop and come out with like a fistful or arms full of stuff, and look exceptionally happy. Sometimes they come out empty-handed and look exceptionally unhappy. But slowly but surely, it does not appear as if anybody who you've seen go in and come out of Red Shop has been to legitimately buy something.
They're just reclaiming their goods.
getting all their shit out of Hawk.
So how close to like getting in are we?
Probably like 5-6 people.
So I'll look towards my compatriots, and it seems Red is doing quite well in a man both in the know and someone kept in the dark. I don't understand this. Not many people do as well as Red does.
The line continues to move and continues to move, and eventually you find yourself next. As the person in front of you goes in, you can see that as they've been standing in front of you, waiting and waiting and waiting just as long as you have, they seem pretty angry. And at points, you've heard them kind of rehearsing like a speech that they seemed intent to give. And they're going to go inside. You can see them like kind of take a deep breath and like, hype themselves up that one last time. And go inside. You hear like the jingle of the door when it opens. Red give the same greeting that he's given to everybody else. And just as the door opens, Red's, welcome. What can I do for you today? The person in front of you just starts giving Red what for. The door closes, continued what for, but muffled behind the door. And then after a couple minutes, it dies down. Couple minutes, you can't hear anything. And then a few minutes later, the guy comes out, smile on his face, completely empty-handed, and just takes off down the streets.
Yeah, that's a little fishy.
Yeah.
Does anybody see where he goes?
He seems to just kind of wander back into town, taking kind of a major street. I mean, you can follow him if you want.
I almost want to follow him while the rest of the guys go into the store. Just to kind of like see why he was so angry. As like, kind of like catch up to him and goes, whoa, why were you so angry in line? Or while you were leaving?
Okay. All right, so you're going to take off and follow him?
Yeah, I'll try and, I won't stay like close to him, but I'll definitely like try and like match his pace.
Okay.
To where like seems like we were just kind of like walking together.
Okay. All right, so Vorys is going to peel off from line and follow the person who is in front of you. The other three into Red's shop?
Yep.
Okay. As he leaves and you kind of see Vorys' interest to turn and follow the previous customer, you guys make your way in. Red looks happy to see you and gives it in the exact same tone as he has everybody else you've heard him say to. Welcome to Red's. What can I do for you? And just as the door closes, all of this is contingent on you no longer attempt to break into my property. Is that understood? Now, what can I do for you?
What do you have in there? Why is it locked up so tight?
It is empty. It is a space I have acquired recently through this sudden economic downturn amongst other merchants in town.
You're a very shrewd businessman.
We live in a cruel world, and to deny that and to use morals to prevent you from doing something, it's not the way to get ahead in this world.
Fair
Man,
enough.
you guys are lucky Vorys isn't there.
Fair enough.
Throwing his ass on the ground.
So, as long as we have an understanding, what can I do for you this evening? or this afternoon.
Well, let's say we do try to break into the shop. What do you think that you can do to us? Do you know who we are?
I do. And if your city guard friend was here, he would tell you that not just anybody has that lock on the back, that to assume you are the only friends of Berline Haldoli might not be as productive a course as you may have thought 12 seconds ago.
Well, now that's all I'm going to be thinking about is what the inside of that shop looks like, so...
So hold on, sorry, this is out of character, but so did he just admit to them that he is an agent for her?
Just that not everybody, just like what you said upon expecting a lock, not everybody gets that lock.
Yeah, not everybody has that lock in town, so it's one of those things like, how did he get that lock? So basically, he's saying that he has friends in high places too. Okay, all right. I'm just making sure.
It's the governor. We should take him out.
Yeah, take him out.
I mean, now's probably the time. My man's still probably tripping his balls off.
Do you want to have an arm wrestling contest?
You're just gonna go out and see him like wandering the streets.
Was gagged out.
Now, if we have established and can respect clear boundaries, what can I do for you this afternoon?
Yeah, sure.
What have you for sale?
Unfortunately, my inventory is diminishing by the day as people reclaim their items in a kind of attempt to put their lives back together after this poisoning thing seems to have passed.
Surprising that there was so much toilet paper left over on the shelves.
Yeah, we seem to be more civilized than other places where that kind of decorum goes right out the window upon the smallest inconvenience.
Oh my goodness.
We also listen to doctors here.
I'm a doctor. I'm a doctor and a reverend.
Wow.
Doctor.
Unfortunately, my little friend, I have not received any new inventory in the 14 hours or so since your compatriots were here yesterday.
Sees Milk walk in. It's like, I'm working on it.
We are
Milk throws his hands up.
we are still a very small relative establishment. And not necessarily along any trade route, and for the most part kind of self-sustaining, at least until a new venture comes forth from town and perhaps widens the scope of availability of certain items.
Milk gives him a super sour look and looks around, and the nearest thing to him is like a wooden chair, and he bites it and looks at him with frustration, and good day. He turns around and makes eye contact. I said good day.
I too have been furniture chewingly frustrated before. I understand, my friend. But as a loyal and potentially discreet customer of mine, be assured I am working on it.
I believe you. I just am frustrated.
We're not on Grey Dirge Prime. What about you two? My inquisitive friend and my seeming carrying beast of burden.
Do you have a fancier, nicer healing kit than the one I currently have?
Ooh, I do not. As you can imagine, with the kind of crisis about in town recently. Things for perseverance and survival at a premium. Got lots of furniture though.
Typical.
And for you, my large friend?
Is this where he's getting the striking room?
I would imagine so.
Kreegan will just say, I would like a striking rune applied to my weapon.
Ooh.
So that I may rip my enemies asunder.
Kind of goes, woo. I haven't actually sold any of my inventory in the last couple of days. Very well. I recently...
Will you make sure you grab one for me too? Just so that way it's not out of...
Yeah.
Alright.
I just came across these as another shop had to liquidate its inventory. 2 you said you needed?
Yes, 2. One for me and one for one of my companions.
He kind of like looks around behind the counter, finds a box that is very much not embossed with the logo of Red's shop. Yes, here we go. Opens them up, pulls them out, kind of looks at him as if he's never seen them like these particular ones before. Huh. Very good. These should be in working order.
That is greatly appreciated. Here's the gold.
Very
And
good.
I'll just kind of hand on the money.
Takes it, kind of sets it down very nicely. Standing back behind the counter, kind of creepy. Just kind of standing there, arms folded behind him. No movement, just facing whoever's speaking to him. And after the transaction with Kreegan, he leaves them on the counter. It goes right back to that weird posture and just kind of awkwardly stands there staring at everybody.
Kreegan doesn't really pick up on anything strange.
You're just looking at your new thing. You're like, hell yeah.
Yeah, he's just like, my weapon is stronger.
Salvatore likes awkward silences, so he's just kind of just bathing in the moment, just like, no one's gonna make a move. This is great.
Milky Boy, what are you doing?
Yeah, Milk is just sitting there, like looking back and forth to everybody in the room, wondering what's going on.
Salvatore's eyes light up. He's just drinking in this super awkward moment and standing there, and he just like floats out the front door, just drinking it in.
As the three of you stand there, just bathing in the awkwardness, Vorys, you're gonna follow this guy. You're city guard. I'm sure you've tailed people before. This one does not appear to be moving within like a city in the way that most people would.
So I feel like he's doesn't live here, or he's like
just anytime you're somewhere crowded, right? There's certain like things that you observe. Ideally, like you walk on the right side, people walk in the opposite direction, walk on the right side. Nobody's like bumping into each other. There's ways to like walk around people that are going slower, like that kind of thing. Just the way that somebody would move within like a city environment.
So he's actively just moving. He's not like trying to avoid anybody or
Straight,
anything like that. He's
just absolute
he's just straight line moving.
lines instead of. When two people kind of pass each other, both of them kind of make an effort to not bump into each other.
Yeah, he's doing the dickhead thing.
He's moving, and if people do not get out of his way, he is going to collide with them. And you see him kind of collide with a couple of people. He does interact, gives an apology, but continues to just move in this direct, straight line.
I would like to continue following him, but to try and make it as inconspicuous as possible.
Okay. You follow him. He makes his way through like the kind of cheaper part of the market, the one stalls, not shops. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And as he makes his way by, and the one time he kind of veers off course from this just absolute, just straight line, is you can see him kind of veer towards one of the cheaper, like the cheapest actually, like blade vendors in the open air market.
Does he stop, or does he just kind of like slow down and look?
Give me a perception, or let's see, what else could it be?
Society?
No, just give me perception. That's going to be it.
All right. Oh, fuck me.
All you get is that for the first time, he kind of veered out of this hell-bent straight line that he's been about.
So I'm gonna do the whole like kind of city guard, like losing him kind of thing, and I'll kind of like start like pushing people aside, trying to make sure I get a visual on him and shit like that. But like it's one of those things like I almost kind of like disregard myself trying to be sneaky just so that way I can make sure that I still have eyes on him kind of thing.
Okay. You kind of lose him for a second. Give me another perception check. After a couple of seconds of losing him by the weapons or the blades like vendor, he pops up a couple stalls down, this time having actually stopped. And you see him at this vendor and stall that is known for like cheap vellum, cheap scrolls, and quills and basic inks.
Are there any stalls next to this vendor?
Yeah, this is, like I said, it's not like the flea market. Just stall, nothing kind of coherent in far as what everybody sells.
What would be the closest vendor to where he's standing, not in the same stall?
There's a fruit. The fruit vendor is going to be the closest to him. So it's going to go him, fruit vendor, you at a distance.
I'll definitely start looking at the fruit. You know, me being a quick, I'll start like, ooh, I haven't seen these in town in a while, like kind of thing.
The little goblin vendor is super excited. They look like their face is sticky from just eating like lots of fruit and not giving a shit. And as you walk up, give me another perception check, please. Out of the corner of your eye, you're making this conversation, or you're making this kind of fake conversation with the fruit vendor. You can see the person like scribbling ferociously on this piece of paper and handing it to the vendor with the scrolls and the ink and the quills.
I'll just continue looking at, like, I'll start bartering with the fruit vendor, like, oh, you want 5 silver for this? Come on, man, this is 3 silver at best, type of thing.
Out of nowhere, the vendor, the scroll vellum vendor, kind of opens this piece of paper and goes, I don't understand what any of this means. And you can hear it like out loud, genuinely concerned. The person that you're following reaches into their outfit, pulls out a knife, and stabs themselves in the chest and just slumps down. The vendor standing there with a piece of vellum in his the piece of paper that he was just handed, and just starts to cry out for help. I need some help over here. Like the goblin comes like jumping over their stall, and they go to try to help this person as the kind of crowd kind of grows. The sound of panic hits about, and you can hear the footsteps of fellow members of the city guard making their way towards you. And with that, we'll take our mid-show break right there. Right. All right. It is 8:42. We're going to take about a 10-minute quick break. Come right back, deal with this, and see how the rest of everybody's shopping adventure goes. To everybody watching, thank you so much, as always. To you guys, thank you for being so much fun. And we'll be back in about 10 minutes. Hope to see everybody on the other side. We'll be right back. Boom. All right. We are back from our real-life short rest. Before we went to break, the party was informed that their patron, Lady Berline Haldoli, had done some research into the Grave Claw, a coven of hags responsible for the plot to poison her farm and thus the living members of the city of GrowedUpGeek. They were implored to go take care of it in a way that, without her saying, Kreegan already knew the assignment and was ready to do exactly what she asked before the party set out. One last little trip into town upon some more shenanigans with Red and the neighbors. Enough so that Vorys decided to follow the person who was in front of them while the rest of the party stayed. Enjoyed a little bit of mercantile activity and now are engaged in a very awkward kind of room. Before we left off, Vorys saw the weird self-inflicted attack of the person that they had been following. We're going to come back and we're going to cut back to the group in Reds. You guys have all been kind of standing there for a minute. Red does not seem to at least acknowledge the awkwardness. He stands there just as he has. A weird kind of smarmy salesman smile on his face, just moving down the line, making eye contact, seeing if anybody needs anything.
No.
No.
Salvatore's gonna drink in the moment for one last second and then just like stroll out the front door.
Okay. Before you do, Salvatore, Milk, Kreegan, give me perception checks, please.
Yes.
Ooh, Kreegan. Nice.
It was blonde, so I assume that's nice in favor of me.
Okay.
And for
All of
whatever
you.
you're doing.
All of you. As you stand there in this awkward moment, you've been in there for a little bit. The line, for the most part, has been relatively silent, both when you were in it and since you've been inside Red's establishment. And suddenly you can hear, like, a hubbub outside as there seems to be, like, grumblings amongst the people still in line behind you.
Let me see what's up with that, or just walk out.
Yeah, I mean it's closer than we don't know where Vorys went at this point, so we might as well go check out what's going on.
Okay.
It could be the source of this.
Yeah.
You make your way outside, and some of the Lord Governor's, like, personal guard. You saw them at the mansion, and they are very clearly differentiated from the kind of rank and file city guard from which Vorys kind of sprang from. And you can just hear them kind of, like, pushing, like, people in line, and just insisting quite forcefully that they should all go home.
What what is this about? Why are you sending everyone home? Is there a curfew? It's only like, what time is it? We got a world clock here.
Yeah, it's like the afternoon. And so they kind of turn around, and their reaction is very much before they see you and do some very quick math. He starts back to you because it is the order of the Lord fucking Governor. Oh, I'm terribly sorry, sir. And you can see him all kind of like pause and be in this weird kind of situation. We beg your pardon. We weren't aware that you had business with Red today.
Why are you shutting everything down? What's happening?
The Lord Governor would like to see Red.
See him do what?
Maybe like a backflip?
Do a barrel roll. Do a kickflip right now.
Use a Christ air or else.
I'm afraid I'm not at liberty to say, Master Goblin. We only act on behalf of the Lord Governor. And you of all people should know his summons to appear are meant to be followed.
How is he feeling?
He is good. He sends his thanks for the revelries he enjoyed last night at your abode.
Well, I want you to tell him specifically that Salvatore said it was no problem.
I am sure the Lord Governor will be calling on you relatively soon. But if you'll excuse us, and like 3 of them kind of peel off from this group of 6. 3 of them kind of stand behind and start to like deal with the crowd, which seems a little less animated that you are here, and their kind of change in tone from the way they're kind of like pushing the crowd around, and suddenly now they're begging your pardon and giving you like a calm, rational explanation.
Some oversight.
3 of them peel off, go inside, close the door. We're going to cut back to Vorys. Out of nowhere, this dude that you've been following, just making beelines through everything, makes a slight little weave by the blade merchant. You lose them for like a quick second. They pop up at this place known to sell just cheap parchment and quills. You sneak up on him. He has a slight little conversation with the quill and vellum vendor, and then produces a blade from inside of his coat and stabs himself in the chest.
Now, do I get the idea that he was trying to commit some sort of like ritualistic act?
Give me religion or society. Or
Alright,
cultism.
Well, it's definitely going to be society. So, yeah.
Not bad. Out of the major religions, the kind of weird little subcultures that you have experienced just in your time walking the beat, this does not seem like something you've seen more than once. You've seen it, but as best you could tell, this is only the 2nd time you've seen it.
So I've seen this like ritualistic act like once before.
The way he was stabbed in the chest.
So like how he did it, the manner at which it happened. Okay. Does this have anything to do with the way the manner that the guy in the store had been stabbed?
It reminds you of it.
The same way?
Because usually the kind of ritualistic ones, you hold it out, blade in towards you, and just kind of plunge it straight. This one was more of like a U-turn into his chest.
So it's like
Yeah.
almost like
like a
turned against their will kind
like
of
a
thing.
big sweeping action where, you know, like usually you just kind of hold it out and just drive it straight in.
Yeah, you drive. This one is like going out and then it like came back in kind of thing. Okay. So I find that kind of weird. So having him see do that, I'll go up to the vendor and I'll just kind of go, I don't know what's going on here, but don't worry. I was here to witness the whole thing.
Oh God, thank God.
I'm with
And you can just tell he shook. Like, this guy came up, seemed pretty normal, bought something, stabbed himself in the chest, and now a member of the city guard is like right on top of it.
Was there anything that he did prior to stabbing himself?
He just came up, asked for a piece of parchment and a quill, said he had to write something out real quick. Paid for it, gave me the parchment, and he just stabbed himself in the fucking chest.
Can I see that parchment?
Yeah, and it's all like crumpled up. You can tell like when he stabbed himself, he kind of tensed up, so it's all scrunched up. And he's just shaking, and he hands it to you. Here. I didn't even read what it says.
And so I'll look at it and read it, what it says.
In very hurried, like, scribbling, like worse than my handwriting. Written out as best you can tell, I hereby bequeath all of my worldly possessions to Red. Signed in like an incoherent signature. And that's it.
So having read this, I'll look back towards the vendor. Have you dealt with this man before?
No, first time seeing him.
Has anything like this happened to you before?
Oh my God, no.
And with that information, I'll just kind of like, just kind of give him the nod and look back and thank you. The city guard will be along, and I'll make sure that they know the information.
Coming. All right, so Landon, what's the thing to like ping the map?
For you, it'd be shift, hold left click.
Okay.
And then it should take everyone to that part of the map.
Okay. So
There we
go. Perfect. Okay. So that's basically where Red's is. Okay. You would have followed your guy to up around here. Okay.
Okay. So it's like right on the outside of the upper area.
Yeah. So he kind of made his way like around the horn through this kind of, city square.
City center kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And then right here is the governor's mansion. It's actually this big one.
So it's by our house.
So that's you guys actually live down here.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like it's closer to our house than it is anywhere else.
Yeah, you guys live down there. And this is a spectacle. Somebody just stabbed themselves in the market, and people, not only the vendor, but kind of the crowd screaming out for help. Eventually you can hear the plodding of armored feet, like, rushing to the aid of the citizens. And instead of it being the kind of base level guard, such as yourselves and your regular brothers, these all seem to be the top tier Lord Governor's guards. They just sweep in, like 10 of them, make like a huge perimeter, swords drawn, asking for peace. They pick up the body, jet off into the city, all while remaining to keep everybody kind of in their place. And eventually they slowly peel off and disappear into the city.
This is kind of like one of those like emergency extraction kind of situations.
Red team, go.
So Vorys will find that kind of intriguing as a matter of like the governor's guard kind of sweeping in and dealing with a problem like this. So normally they wouldn't deal with a problem like this. They would just kind of be like, somebody else will be along to deal with that kind of thing. So that'll definitely intrigue Vorys on top of the whole second time somebody stabbed themselves and was like, hey, I give all of my stuff to Red type of thing. Can I go through? Oh shit! I guess they already carried dude off. Fuck. Can I go back to Red's house? Can I go back to Red's now?
Sure.
All right. So I want to start making my way back towards Red's.
Okay. You make your way through the city basically in the same way that you kind of came. Dude did kind of come the most direct and kind of popular route, big streets, that kind of thing. To everybody at Red's, you're going to have watched the Lord Governor's guard go inside. And just like everything else, they're going to just kind of barge in. You had left. Nobody had followed in after they were starting to get harassed. And just like everybody else, the door dings with the little bell of any shop. You hear Red in the same tone and the same delivery as everybody else. Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Red's. How may I help you? Just as the door shuts. And then a few minutes later, the guards, as well as Red, having a very cordial kind of conversation, even to the point of like arms around each other, slapping each other on the back, having a good laugh. Red kind of comes out on the little porch. I am sorry, I must assist the Lord Governor with an exceptionally urgent matter, and I will be closed for the rest of the day. My apologies. Tomorrow, 10% off anybody who inconvenienced for today. And you can hear the crowd kind of, all right, that's a pretty good deal. And at this point, a bunch of them start to leave. And Red and the 3 guards of the Lord Governor, just happy as can be, look like 4 dudes just going for a stroll.
Give Red the finger as he walks by.
Kind of gives almost like a politician wave to everybody as he walks like up the street.
Well, see you later.
What do you guys want to do?
Check out the front door to Red shop.
You get the same mysterious glow and energy as you did off the back door to the other place.
Damn it, Milk says out loud. Shit.
Well, I guess
Another
we
one.
probably either make our way back to the manor, looking for Vorys as we go.
Kreegan still has business.
Kreegan, what are you doing?
Kreegan's mostly just following you all around because Kreegan isn't much of a investigative person. He's more of a smash things. So
You find out what I need to smash, and I'll smash it.
yeah, that's kind of Kreegan's position in all this. Now, as a player, I do think that the governor is up to something, specifically with Brad. But for Kreegan, he's a little
Who is
He-
Red? How is Red so important?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
How's Red got all these connections that?
Yeah, why don't
It's
we
so-
have one of those sweet locks on our door
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Our
that, yeah.
goon to pester whoever breaks in?
You kind of
But
stand there.
Red doesn't have a nice window, so
That's true. You do have a nicer window.
You
Are we
kind
gonna
of stand
smash
there.
Windows out is what you're saying?
Yeah, let's go make some windows for Red.
Vorys makes his way back as you all kind of stand there. And almost just as the governor and his little like retinue of like or Red and the governor's guards retinue just kind of cordially go up the street, like Vorys comes from the opposite direction. Vorys, like you get there just in enough time to see the backs of the governor's elite guards at least kind of escorting, if not walking with Red.
Something fishy is going on here.
So as Vorys walks up and he hears him say that, he will go, "Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. That guy that was in front of us, yeah, he did the same thing that this other guy did."
Did he also leave all of his worldly possessions to Red?
And as he says that, I'll just kind of like hold the note out towards him and just kind of let him.
Same ceremonial dagger?
Is from what I could see, it seemed like the same. He was carried off before I could really investigate.
When the dagger from last time was like a rite of Urgathoa. So something's
It was
going on.
I'll basically say to Salvatore is like, I couldn't tell if it was the same dagger, but it was the same style wound. It seemed as if the injury was quite the same.
Okay.
Something about our friend Red has me very perplexed. For a man that was so eager to help us, he's not very eager to help us anymore, is he?
I feel like he's only eager to help when it suits him.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got, except for the whole, guy stabbing himself and giving all of his worldly possessions to Red. It didn't seem like he was in such a bad mood when he left, was it?
Yeah, what kind of a deal did he enter into? Like, there has to be some kind of an exchange. He was pretty...
As for a guy that would sell his stuff, I would never stab myself and leave it to the guy I sold my stuff to. So, I mean, that's...
Well, unfortunately, I feel like the only way we're going to find anything out is if we break into Red's shop.
I was about to say, if we either break into Red's shop or we go find out where they went and then try to eavesdrop on that situation.
Yeah, they're going to the Lord Governor's mansion. Maybe we could ask Berline when we get back from the woods if she knows anything about Red and his connections to the Lord Governor.
I think that would be a well invested input of our time.
Because she still hasn't paid us, so she kind of owes us.
Technically, I mean, she kind of paid us a little bit. We got 50 gold apiece. Let's put it like that. I mean, that was the most we got. We basically got 200 gold. So.
And Argoon's friendship.
I mean, well, I mean, you know, that was
The friends we made along the way.
So worth it.
At this point, the guards are all gone. The crowd has kind of dispersed. And this entire kind of block of businesses seems deserted.
Are we going in reds?
Well, we can't get past the lock. It has the same lock on this door as it does on the back door.
We haven't tried the roof yet.
Yeah,
We
I
also
mean,
haven't
we
tried
could
all
just
of
make-
the options. We just
we could
tried,
just make
you know, the
an
brute
alternate
force
door.
option.
Yeah.
Nobody
Just
tried
try-
to like Arcana the lock or anything like that. So that's
I wouldn't think any of us could though.
Yeah, my dispel only worked for a hot second. We could try to get Kreegan to just like make another door. He made a window pretty easy.
Yeah.
This bust his shit up.
Can we make it look like we just like it was somebody else breaking into his place? Do you want to like bash in the front window and
Let's all go get Builders League uniforms, and we'll stand out in the front, and Kreegan will just smash the wall in. We'll be like, anyone that passed by, we're like, Builders League. Like, can't you tell?
Kreegan could try to smash the window or door.
Can I get up onto the roof before we smash? I just want to check and make sure that all entrances are looked at.
I mean, I'll check all the doors and everything like that and see if there's anything that I can do.
Milk, give me an athletics or acrobatics check, please.
Yes, sir. Acrobatics. Not bad.
You manage to find some footholds, and eventually find your way to the roof of the, I guess, the block of buildings.
All right. Milk has good claws. He can get up there.
Okay.
He gets to the very top and he crouches down and starts feeling along the top for hatches and secret doors, any kind of thing like that. Just sniffing.
Give me a perception check. While Milky Boy is up on the roof, kind of doing God knows what, especially from your perspective down on the streets, Salvatore, Kreegan, Vorys, what would you guys like to do?
I want to investigate the doors and see if there's any way I can discern a way to get in.
Okay. All right, then Vorys, give me a perception check. Milk, you quite thoroughly, you're crafting all kinds of things. You kind of already know a few tricks of like methods to hide like a trapdoor. Knowing all of that, up there, it seems to be intentionally designed to not have any seams or holes or anything. Vorys, you've seen these locks before. They are on the Lord Governor's mansion, on his office, on the armory for the troops, and at the guard barracks.
So
your
this is like
your
government level locking.
your Lord Commander will not mess with these locks.
Yeah, this is very suspicious.
Connected.
Yeah, and not only connected, but like to get these locks put in, it's like there's it's like paperwork kind of thing. Like there's like forms and forms that have to be filled out. That like there is like a list of things that would be connected to this building that are now connected to the government because they put the locks on this building, type of thing.
It is not illegal to own a rocket launcher. It is illegal to own a rocket launcher without a permit. The problem is,
it's illegal to own the ammo for the rocket launcher.
It is impossible
you can own the rocket launcher.
It is impossible to get the permit. So if you've gotten essentially the permit.
Yeah, so Sort of Boy Red's got a lot more to answer for, having noticed this. It's basically like, yo dog, why you got locks that are on nuclear silos type of thing?
On your shop.
Yeah, on the front door type of thing. And so like I'll be able to tell that like this is way above Red's store. Like this door is not worth the lock that's put on it.
Milk's gonna tinker with that trap door that he found. He pulls a little like metal stick out of his pocket and like starts to like shiv where the.
There's nothing. You didn't find any. There's nothing.
There's nothing up there?
No.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It's not gonna have like a trick key thing. It's gonna be one of those things like you're either opening it or you're not opening kind of lock.
Ah.
Or if you do type of fuck with it, like somebody's gonna know that you were fucking with it.
All right. How tall is this building? Manny?
Two stories.
So like 20 feet.
Yeah.
All right. Milk just fucking walks straight off. Does like a full, like, like a lazy front flip and lands on his feet and just keeps on walking.
Nice.
He's got cat fall, so falls are 25 feet shorter to him than normal. So he just and falls right off the ledge without feeling it. Just keeps walking. So maybe we should think of a different route. This place is kind of sealed up.
No, I mean, this isn't one of those things that like trying to get in would be worth it too.
I don't think it would be worth it. I think it would hurt. This thing is secure.
Do I know of any other ways to get these locks open besides like the one key?
Just the only experience you have at the guard barracks is an actual physical key.
Yeah, so it is like it's one of those things like, you know, I only know of ways to open this based on this key to this door. It's one of like this key opens this door and that's the only thing that opens this door type of thing.
Could a magic be powerful enough to open it? It could be. Do you know that? No. And anytime there's been like kind of shenanigans with the key at the barracks, like nobody decides, hey, let's just fucking try magic this time.
Yeah. So yeah, Vorys will be the, you know, he'll like, I only know of one way to open this door and that's with the key. Like that's, you know, that's the extent of his knowledge, is like he can figure out how to do it, but like opening the door with his arcana is another thing.
And Mike could make a bomb.
Yeah, but if we're gonna make the bomb, we need to make it to where it doesn't look like we're the ones that did it. If we're gonna do it, it needs to be like, you know, make it look like we're trying to rob the place or something like that. I mean, don't think that Vorys isn't down for that type of thing. Just saying, like, Vorys wants to cover his tracks. If we're gonna do something like that.
Yeah, because he's obviously really well connected, and if we,
I mean, this is the type of lock, like, you know, this is like a $1,500 lock on a $25 door.
We'll have to go home if you want me to assemble a bomb.
Do you think you could get the things from, say, like shops in town, like without having to go home? Do you think you just like make a go to like this vendor and get this thing, go to this vendor and get this thing?
He's like, actually, I think I might have it. He whips his backpack off, sets it down, and opens it up and like puts his entire like upper body in it, and his he's just like crouched over and
You just see like a
absorbed.
pair of feet just like sticking out of a backpack.
Yeah, he's getting way down in there. He has improvised tool, which allows him to make improvised toolkits of various natures.
I have a lockpicking kit if that's what you're after. Like
What?
Vorys has one in his backpack.
Well, I was thinking that I could make like a quick alchemical kit, so I can do some
I got a-
chemistry here.
I was about to say I got a frost vial if you want to try and like freeze the locks or something like that. But other than that,
He says, "Oh yeah, yes, give me the frost vial." He
All right.
takes it,
so
and
I'll
he
give
takes
you.
it.
I'll reach into my backpack, and you'll see Vorys kind of like reach into a side pocket, and you'll hear like, 5 or 6 vials clattering around in like this pocket. It doesn't look like there could be that many vials in this pocket, and it just looks like vials. Like his arm is just like getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and it just sounds like he's just like clattering around, and all of a sudden he just kind of like pulls out and looks at it. All right, yeah, that's what I'm looking for, and he just sets one of the so it's a moderate frost vial that he puts down.
Heck yeah. He Milk takes out of his bag. He has black powder, which is what he uses to fire and load his blunderbuss and be nonplussed. He takes the frost vial, pulls like a little like roll of tape out of his pocket and tapes it to an acid vial, and then tapes a alchemist fire to the two of those things, and kind of like wads it up and tapes it together. And he sets it up against the wall and puts like takes like one of those spew into this cups that he kept from the weapon maker, because he had a water dispenser. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna fill this up with powder, and then we're gonna do this. He starts giggling uncontrollably while he's doing this. Very Beavis, if you want to like get a little mental image. So yeah, he takes the pack, wads the powder into the cup, makes a nice little like trail of powder out to where they are, and he's like, okay, all we have to do is light it. Who wants to light the powder?
Salvatore's gonna go hide behind a box.
Salvatore's just out. He's like, no. Okay. He's like, anyone else want to light it? And he says, okay.
Oh, you
Pulls
take
one of,
the honors.
he pulls one of those.
Vorys have a fire magic spell?
Yeah.
I can hear you. Lewis, your box.
I actually have a fire starter, so I can just kind of like.
I think it cut out again.
Actually, you hear me?
No.
Yeah.
Hello.
There it is.
All right. I actually have like a fire starter. I think. Hold on. Let me check my. Yeah, flint and steel. I actually have a flint and steel I could reach down and.
Perfect. Milk like congratulates you for having the right tool, and you get like a +1 respect point. And Milk goes and jumps into a garbage can and closes the lid on him like Oscar, and he's looking out the gap. This is gonna be so awesome.
Okay. All right. So Salvatore behind a box, milk in a trash can. Kreegan, you just gonna stand there and just watch the show?
Yeah, watching some fireworks.
Okay. Vorys, anything?
I'm gonna light it and then just kind of do the whole like go around the corner,
Duck around the corner.
like the whole yeah, and then you just see like the explosion happen like like two inches away from the corner, and I'm just kind of like standing away from the corner, just like
Totally fine.
all right.
All right. So as everybody kind of gets to safety, save Kreegan. Vorys gonna take you.
Kreegan is still standing.
Sure,
like
but
he's not standing on top.
Sure, you're not like on top of it, but you are within like view and unobstructed. Like you don't want to miss anything. All right.
Yeah.
Vorys, couple clicks. Tick, tick. Spark, powder. Like an old Roadrunner cartoon.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
as it gets there, like the first thing you hear is like the unmistakable sound of like glass vials exploding. Like pop, pop, pop. Everything seems to spray outwardly, like onto the porch and into the street, just coming short by a foot or two of Kreegan. The explosion echoes throughout the city. You can hear audible gasps in other parts of the city. The bells for the city began to ring. And as you look at it, nothing about the actual building has been altered, damaged, or destroyed in any way. There is frost on the porch. The banister has been eaten away, and there are small little fires now in the street in front of Red's.
And nothing happened.
A loud
Oh,
boom,
nice.
and his porch is messed up.
That's about what I figured was gonna happen.
That's what he gets.
No, it seems like we need. It seems like we have a few more questions to ask our friend Red.
I don't think he wants to talk to us now.
Well, it doesn't matter. He ain't
Oh
gonna
my
know it's
God.
us, unless we got some snitches around here. Which he's gonna know it's us, because I guarantee this.
Because we're the PCs in this adventure, and of course it's you
Yeah,
guys.
exactly.
Nobody
Yeah.
better. Nothing. If we whistle as we leave the scene, we'll be fine.
The bell continues to ring in town. People have started to kind of like peer around to see what has happened. And it's like I said, the street's deserted except for you four.
Yeah, again, like this is the whole type of thing, why does Red have this much security, and why has all this stuff happened to Red? More questions to ask towards him. So yeah, it's that we need to go talk to Berline, because I guarantee you she might have some answers for us.
We should definitely go elsewhere.
Well, now that we have all our stuff, do you want to go to Berlin's first, or do you want to go do the stuff in the woods, and then when we report back to her, we can
Let's
ask?
head into the woods.
Are
We
we
just-
gonna?
It
No,
detonated a bomb. It's okay
I don't
to
know,
go on-
man. It's one of those. I don't think we should let Red get as far out into this as let us disappear for a day or two and let him just go on about his scheme. I feel like we should at least head off the information, but that's
We
just
did-
me being.
We blew up his porch. We definitely.
Yeah, but we didn't do anything
the
though.
signal
We
out
literally
there.
all we did was just we made a frosty bomb on his porch. We just gave him a nice frosty fucking doorstep.
I know we did the equivalent of putting a freaking 2-liter
Fire.
dry ice swab
We just
on him.
yeah, exactly. We just fire extinguisher his front porch. Like,
Yeah, I will advocate for the forest to let the heat cool down in town.
what's the heat, dog? I am the heat. I am the police. Y'all are walking around with the popo right now. Like,
You're right about
if
that.
anything,
You're
if anybody asks, I just whip out like a fake piece of paper and I go, "Don't worry, it's all right," and I just roll it back up, and before they even looked at it, just
Well, I mean, we have to go,
unofficial business
we have to go buy our house anyway when we're leaving to
out of
get
town. Yeah,
so we might as well just stop by.
because we're going southeast, right? So we can just head out of that gate that's below her house towards our house.
Okay.
Cause I mean, I got a feeling she can at least point us in the direction of A, the person that sold the locks to Homeboy, or B, why he has such heavy duty locks on his building. Like, cause that's higher up type of thing. Like, he's basically got the equivalent of like $1 million mansion security system while he's, opening up shop in the slums.
True.
Which, granted, everybody needs a good security system in the slums, but that good?
Yeah, let's go ask her if she knows anything.
Or at least like, hey, where'd you get your security system from? We're looking for something. We're looking for something better for our house. This whole like, we've been walking through the city and some crazy things have happened, and we just don't feel safe anymore. What can you do in the way of home security?
Okay, you guys want to go see Berline?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You try to be inconspicuous as you make your way out. You definitely see as you kind of move from the street where Reds is into like other parts of town that people definitely notice the kind of correlation between this loud explosion and these 4 at least interesting looking beings kind of leaving the area from which the explosion happened. As you kind of make your way, you see once again the Lord Governor's personal guards making a beeline to the street. As you guys kind of walk away, they're headed towards it. And in a pretty good number, probably about 10 or 12 of them that you see running towards the sound of the explosion.
They don't
look dismayed.
I'm about to say, they don't normally respond to things, to calls like that, do they?
No, you've seen a lot more of them in the last couple of days than is pretty normal. They're really reclusive, and for the most part, they only really travel with the Lord Governor.
Yeah, so them just like running towards something like, like makes Vorys feel like they have a vested interest in it.
The Secret Service running to a crime scene is not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So, Kreegan
you see
says,
10 dudes in suits run by you.
But Kreegan thinks the governor is responsible. We should crush him.
We should.
Once we get more information, my large
Salvatore gave him too much of the brain potion. He's coming up with all sorts of crazy ideas.
I believe Salvatore gave him the right idea, that we weren't a concern to him.
We're really good friends.
Exactly. Like we led him to believe that we're his buddies. That we mean him no harm. So now they may know it's us when we try to blow up into Reds, but if we play this right, I think we'd be all right.
Yes, we just shouldn't let them know that we're suspicious of
No.
the governor.
No.
Just suspicious of Red.
No. 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 No.
But
No.
This is
No.
why we work these things out in advance. No.
That's yes, sir. And that's exactly right. This is why we talk about these things in advance. We don't want to let them know we suspect them. We want to let them know
that we know that they know that we know that they know.
that they're the ones.
They did it, man.
You make your way, and for the first time in the last couple of days that you've tried to stop by Berline's house, alive is not the proper word given the setting of this place, but it's active. The planter boxes for the first time in the last 4 days are up and about and producing fruit. The house looks lit up and occupied while still manned by the 2 sentries. The gates to the estate are open, and as you walk up, you see a large contingent of mindless undead tolling away on the grounds, taking care of the planter boxes, the shrubbery, all the kind of basic yard work. Everybody seems to be about after the place kind of got a little janky after a little bit. Wasn't looked at like it usually is.
Need to hire better landscapers.
Yeah, you just wait for the lady to get home and she just makes them.
Their topiaries weren't as good as they should be.
This is unacceptable.
We need to get someone to make our shrubs into Argoon hand.
Just
is Argoon in the statue at our house, or is it just us 4?
Just you 4.
We need to get someone to chisel us a little Argoon to place on one of our shoulders in the statue to include him. We couldn't do it without him.
Vorys would totally agree with that.
Yeah, don't worry. The next time, Kreegan is going to suggest that, instead of like a at-home statue, it'll be more like a city statue. We're going to, as we make a bigger name, each time we'll get like bigger statues for like bigger areas. And we will have a huge Argoon statue.
Right in this square, right in front of Haldoli's estate. That's where the statue will be, right there.
Just a big old hand job statue.
Yeah, maybe a fountain. Can we all be like spitting water out of our mouths?
I love it.
The guards straighten up as they see you. You are quite the recognizable foursome. Yes, what can we do for you?
We have some questions for the lady before we leave.
Unfortunately, she is not in right now, but we believe she will be in sometime tonight, hopefully. We believe she is up at the Lord Governor's mansion.
Oh, dun dun dun! A twist.
Would you do us a favor?
Of course.
Would you send someone to the governor's mansion to inform the lady that we have questions for her that are of the utmost importance?
Huh?
And that if she can break herself away, it would be much needed.
It's gonna get there. Hey, how do we get a fancy lock? And what the fuck's going on with Red?
Signed, the guys. Why, yes, and you can see him kind of snap in like a younger man in kind of the same vibe of armor, but not as like resplendent and not as like ornate and complicated. You see him like whisper into his ear and then just kind of shuffle him off. And my man is full like sprinting like through the city.
Do you have city guard posted by?
They kind of look. No offense. We don't deal with the city guard too much.
Do you have any soldiers close to the Lord Governor's estate?
No, we stay on just on the property and go with Berline. We're not officially like kind of a sanctioned militia within town.
Do me a favor and send a city guard patrol as well.
Okay.
I feel it will keep all parties vested.
Very well. Kind of claps his hands again. Another one of the little kind of acolytes, younger men on the kind of totem pole, make their way up and off they run into the city as well.
I don't like that she's over at his house like that. That's... I mean, I guess that's the most we can do right now, unless y'all want to go and try to find this locksmith guy. We can go to the woods. Because it looks like a day's walk, something like that.
It says it's about a day and a half.
Okay.
And that's just to the edge of the woods.
We'll let them kind of sit on the information, or that like we have something for her. Maybe might make her a little intrigued to actually see us instead.
Or it'll at least keep the parties vested to not, say if they're gonna assassinate somebody, say, hey, they might just not assassinate him this person or this day, to say, hey, you know what? Maybe we'll do it this day because there's something else that needs to come out before we do this.
Yeah.
It's a type of insurance type of thing.
Agreed.
Okay. Kreegan, do you still want to go see your peeps?
Talking about the orcs.
Yes.
We can say that Kreegan had already got the tattoo just because I know it's mostly just getting the the little like scar pattern. I kind of feel like it probably would have went well with when we did the festival.
Okay.
Just because that's when everyone was drinking and everything. I just didn't think of it at the time.
So your scars are healing?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Berline's personal guard have sent 2 messengers off into the city. And yeah, you guys are going to head off into the woods?
Yep, sir.
Okay. Anything else you want to do in GrowedUpGeek before heading out?
Make sure our house is locked up.
Okay.
Argoon, big hand, bar the door.
We need to ask Red if we can borrow one of his locks.
Yeah, we'll leave a note. Hey, we're just testing the durability of your lock situation. We need better security protocols at our house. Pretty good lock. 4.5 stars.
We were trying to figure out where you got this from.
Where'd you get this from? What are those?
Yeah. Kreegan rots in there. We're not suspicious of you of anything. We just want to know where you got the lock.
We recognize quality when we see it. It's not because we think you're sketchy. You make a quick stop by. You instruct your the same regiment of the Lord Governor's guards. You also have 2 of them outside of your house. They, very attentive and listening. Yes, of course, we'll protect the house. We'll even get more people out here.
Would you mind making sure it's of all three. Your faction, the Lady Haldoli's faction, and the city guard. It's a matter of making sure we feel safe. Not saying
course.
I don't trust any one specific group. It's just a matter if all three groups were here, it will make sure that everyone's kept honest.
Of course, and we would be horrible hosts if the saviors and kind of biggest outside influence of our town did not feel safe here. Of course. Do you have any idea of how long you will be gone?
That's none of your business.
What do y'all just want to say? Just like, 2 days, just to be on the 2 days, maybe longer type of thing.
If we're not back in 3 days, call the cops.
send out a search party. Tell our goon the house is smokes.
Yeah,
That'll really upset him.
We need the triad of security, and make sure you send someone if we're not back in 3 to 5 business days.
Okay. All right. They are understood. You can see them getting everything in. Argoon gives everybody like a little shrug on the shoulder, like a little squeeze. Talks about how much he's going to miss you guys and how he can't wait till you get back and all the new recipes he's going to have.
Can I get a doggy bag of some bread?
Yeah, he just throws some biscuits in. He's been steady baking.
Hardtack.
Yeah.
Got some scones, dog.
So
fuck hardtack. We got scones.
That lambus bread, shit, dry as fuck.
Packs you out. You set off along the road. For those of you who haven't traveled outside of Grey Dirge too much and into Geb proper, it's once you get out of like the civilized areas where choices are made about like aesthetics and everything, for the most part, it looks like anywhere else in the world. There's nothing particularly like weird or sinister about it. It just, in this
Not
case,
a lot of bones is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Once we get outside the city.
Or like livestock everywhere.
Not a lot. As you get further out, the kind of bigger farming and food operations exist, and they still have to feed the quick of Grey Dirge as well. And the rest of the day travels into night. A roadside inn is available. They've even kind of heard of you. Ask if you are from Grey Dirge and in the employ of the Bloodlord. Beyond that, they leave you alone, serve you. The next morning, you get up to continue your journey, and for the most part, like I said, it's been a very nice trip. Like, the countryside's very pretty. Off in the distance, though, the woods slowly begin to kind of, eventually get closer, and what is pretty much kind of this like late fall yellowish kind of about to be harvested kind of color scheme as you walk out. Off in the distance you see like the deep dark foliage of this woods, like a mysterious kind of little mist, even though it is A, hot, B, has not rained in a while, and C, sunny. You make your way, and you can't really tell, but at a certain point there comes this chill that comes over your body as if the temperature has dropped like 20 degrees. The bright sunshine is gone, and everybody give me a perception check, please. I guess I better have this up.
Vorys is looking in his backpack for a hoodie. You said perception, right?
Yes. Ooh.
Damn, Milk didn't see shit.
Kreegan and Vorys, as you make your way into the Axon Woods, not only is there a dramatic change of temperature, the weather and the lighting and everything that you had been enjoying for the previous day of travel suddenly just gone. The foliage drowning out the bright sunshine that's currently Geb is experiencing. There's a chill in the air. There's a mist. And without being able to pinpoint a direction, Kreegan and Vorys, it sounds like you can hear voices.
In the mist?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Gorillas in the mist.
Kreegan will go ahead and arm himself as we walk through.
You look back to see Salvatore whispering in his ventriloquism ring. Also making spooky voices just for
practicing
just for the
aesthetic. Milky Boy, what are you doing?
Milk pulls his rifle or the blunderbuss and gets real close to the rest of the party members. He's like, I don't know how many of you can see in the dark, but I see just fine. And I'm going to shoot the shit out of anything that we see.
Okay.
Well, do keep in mind, while it's probably monsters, let's not just shoot anything that moves, just in case it's
And he's like, yeah, everything that moves.
Shoot it all.
Well, Kreegan's not really against that, but it could be, for all we know, little Berline could be traveling through here.
No way.
Shouldn't have been.
That would be awful.
You make
Just
your
buckshot
way
her.
through the kind of deep forest. What's going on here? There it goes. Okay. There we go. Through the forest, Vorys, Kreegan, you were hearing it. No matter how far you go, what direction you turn, it seems like the voices are always very close. There are two of them, and you just get this vibe that they are talking about you to each other.
So Vorys will actually get paranoid enough upon hearing all the voices as we're walking and everything like this, and he'll just get that feeling, and he'll just stop at one point and go, "Make yourselves known. If you want to talk to us, that's fine. But I'm not in the mood for your let's watch and see what's done."
A sinister laugh kind of emerges that now everybody can hear. What do you think, Marco? These sound pretty intelligent. I think Iron Tavia would love their heads. Yeah, I think she would too. And there's this little mischievous laugh, and the laugh sounds like it's coming from every direction, just everywhere.
Was it Yondo, homeboy from that's chained to fucking Jabba the Hutt?
Basically. Except there's two of them, but yes.
Milk starts laughing too. He's like,
I'll do the same thing that I did at the party. I'll use hideous ululation in combination with the ventriloquism ring.
Okay.
And shout, We are here to see Iron Tavira. Take us.
We're here to see the IT department.
They all laugh. You can hear the two of them laugh again. Hey, that spell sounded pretty powerful. They might be super smart. Just imagine how much brain grit she can make with smart things. And they laugh and they're like, we're going to really do well for this. She's going to really pay us really good. And they just this sinister laugh.
You will die trying.
Ariel, what the fuck is brain grit?
I kind of want to try that.
I don't know, but I think Salvatore's might like
Like, that sounds right up Salvatore's alley. Like, I'm looking towards you like, what the fuck is brain grit, dog? Like,
Could I maybe do a recall knowledge
Okay?
on that bad boy?
Yes. It is absolutely one of the weird alchemical ingredients that you found in the vault in the bank.
Okay. Milk has all the lists of those chemicals and stuff too. They're trying to brew more of the poison.
Off in the distance, the laughter, instead of kind of going from like omnidirectional and all around you, the voices reply back. You can hear them. They are directly in front of you. And without making any sounds, or still, despite the line of sight, trees, brush, all kinds of things, these two little mysterious figures
what the fuck?
managed to
They're
peek
awesome.
their heads.
These remind me of those annoying little creatures in like Dark Souls 3 and like Elden Ring, the little tiny ones, you know?
Oh god, yeah. Yeah.
These remind me of red caps from 5e, dude.
They are red caps, actually.
It's
Get the
David the
fuck
Gnome.
Get the fuck out of
they-
here, David the Gnome.
They kind of pop out mysteriously from these trees. Iron Tavia could make so much brain grit from you guys. This is going to be great. And they pull out these large scythes, these kind of weird, like long, very sharp blades dangling from their belts, as well as at least 4 heads of sentient humanoid creatures that do not look that old. Let's get him. And they kind of shuffle out from behind the trees, and of course that's where we are going to leave it for tonight.
Oh,
Pick back up in the middle of a fight.
All right. So we have gotten out of town and into a magical forest that I hope doesn't behave in an unconventional and unforeseeable way, as well as having to
man,
fight.
that would be terrible.
That would be terrible and be really weird if somebody warned you about that in advance just in case. So another great episode, another great Tuesday for me personally. Every week you see them play these great characters, especially these last couple of weeks with these roleplay heavy episodes. Behind these great characters, they are even better people. We give them a chance to talk a little bit about themselves before we get out of here. Let's see who we start with. Let's start with you, Milky Boy. You tried everything you could to get into Red's place to no avail. And now, off in the woods, 2 little red caps calling you smart. So there's that. But they do want to chop your head off and use you for alchemical me's. How's Milk feel about that? And then tell us about our boy Tenta.
Milk feels like he's not going to oblige, and that he will be glad to collect their heads. after he shoots them many times. That's just his initial surface thoughts. If you were to give him a quick scan.
Okay, fair.
I'm Tenta. I love tabletop RPGs. I love these guys that I hang out with. Yeah, just a happy sort. And I'm at Rip Tenta Squeeze on Twitter X now.
That's just gonna be Twitter till the day I die.
Stop by and say hi.
Twitter and Walter will always be Twitter and Walter.
Yeah.
No X and
I
no
agree.
Gunther. Neither of those things. I'm gonna call him Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay. All right. Thanks, buddy. Always great time. Salvatore, you've made like this relationship with Berline. She keeps sending you out into the field. Do you wonder that she is sincere, or is she just better at it than all the other kind of shisty people that you all seem to pretty much finger pretty quickly?
You know, Salvatore is always suspicious of everyone, especially people that give him things freely. Like they just gave us this house for really no massive reason. But at the same time, he wants to have a nice little friend. You know, she is a bloodlord and got there by scheming and conniving, and she has all those ears on her belt. Those came from somewhere. So he will operate cautiously with her until, I don't know, she really proves that she's actually our friend. But at least for now, she's being friendly.
What would that take to convince Salvatore that she's legit?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know.
Okay.
I don't even know what that would look like for
Okay.
Salvatore.
Okay, that's fine. That's totally a valid answer. But if something was to happen, there's a chance you could go, yes, that's it, right?
Yeah, I mean, because she puts on a very good, and Salvatore's a bullshitter, so he's and like
I'm impressed.
To eat, it seemed like she actually, liked having a bit of respite in our home with us. So he would like that. That would be nice, but then he's like the thought of like having a friend and like sharing like friendship. He's like, but like a friend though, like.
All right, fair enough. And then tell us about our boy Nick.
I'm Nick. I live on the West Coast, Sacramento. It's getting hot as balls here, but that is just summertime. So I got 2 cats and a dog, a great wife, and yeah, it's gonna be a fun time moving into event season. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. Actually, something to do at work.
Hey.
Fantastic.
Way to flex on having a job, bro. Appreciate it.
I'm
I'm just kidding.
Damn.
I'm just kidding. It's fine. It's fine.
Thanks for having me. This is super fun. It's like the one thing throughout my week that I really, really enjoy.
Nice. Awesome. Thanks, buddy. Kreegan, you have kind of gotten a little closer to your people than maybe you expected recently. Kreegan, not the most intuitive person. Any distrust for Red or Berline in character? Because I'm pretty sure Landon, the player, doesn't like or it knows something's up with both of them.
I think that Kreegan is sort of naturally distrusting of people, but not in the sense that like he's constantly suspecting them. He just, in Kreegan's mind, people just do what helps them the most, and while we're useful to them, which Kreegan does believe we're useful, he doesn't think that they're going to do anything to like necessarily hurt them. They just want to gain more power. So when I say Kreegan doesn't like trust them, I just mean that Kreegan doesn't think that they necessarily have our best interests in heart. They just have their best interests in heart, and that we are currently useful to them.
If you don't expect too much from me, you might not be let down.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Always expect the worst. Kreegan will never be disappointed. So you've left town. You're back to kind of this kind of orc existence where for the most part it is you. How does Kreegan feel about what appears to be kind of a fey convergence, even if he doesn't know what that word means?
Yeah, Kreegan, this is new for him. While he has helped with deliveries and everything, he's mostly stuck to roads. And so outside of his limited education with his tribe, he really hasn't been out much outside of like fighting bandits and undead, of course, and Gab. So these things look very strange to him. If anything, you said they're red caps, right?
Yes.
They're probably small-ish. Then.
Yes.
The tokens look small. Yeah. So Kreegan is, if anything, is probably underestimating them right now. But they did threaten him, saying they wanted to make brain grits. So, yeah, Kreegan is going to give them what they ask for.
Okay, fair enough. Then tell us about our friend Landon.
Yeah, so I'm Landon Baker. I was super excited to play tonight. I know I've had a really long day at work, so I know it was a little dragging tonight, and I'm sorry about that. But I still look forward to it. I still had a lot of fun. Every week I play with these guys. It's awesome. And outside of playing with these guys, because you all know I love each week, I got a wife and I got 2 big old Saint Bernards, and yeah, just enjoying the life.
Bigger fan of fantasy than sci-fi, as we established and were very clear about this week. So let's get that in there, just so nobody is confused about Landon's feelings on one from the other.
Hey, now I did express that I'm happy that the new Starfinder edition uses the same like core rules.
I have no interest in a sci-fi setting. Wow, dude. Okay.
I'm
It's
just
fine.
saying I would be willing to do a one shot, but I could not do a campaign.
All right, fair enough. That's fine. We're kind of committed to something for the least little bit, so we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Thanks for coming, buddy. Always appreciate it. Last and not least, real life friend who I've known for like 15 years, right? We're getting there.
It's getting up there, homie.
And will also be at my house Thursday to help me put together my kid's birthday present. So,
Woo, birthday presents.
So Vorys, before you left town, you kind of used your position, your proximity to Berline, as well as the kind of being in places at the right time. All that kind of came together to set up what I imagine in Vorys' head is a very clear plan to kind of keep things in line. Whatever's going on with the governor, how that ties to Red, what Berline is doing there, plus whatever might happen to your house while you're gone. Right?
Yeah, Vorys is very, very concerned about what is going on in town while he's not there. The city guard mentality has not left his psyche. He is still thinking about all right, well, if I'm not here guarding this post, what will happen now? It's type of that thing. Can I trust the morning shift to do the same job that I do, type of thing.
Never trust dayside.
And exactly, and Vorys is having, he's having those type of, those type of quandaries right now. He's really wondering if he can trust everybody that he has been working for and with and everything like that. And he knows that he can trust the four guys that he's been traveling with and living with this, as much as he can. But then again, he's been around the world enough to know that not everything is it seems, is as it seems. So all the little clues kind of point out to Vorys that he shouldn't trust everything that's going on in the city.
And this is across everything that you've pretty much set up for them to do. Between the city guard, your actual brother, the Lord Governor's kind of private elite troops, and Berline's. which one of those three do you think will absolutely nail their job, and which one of those three do you think is absolutely going to shit the bed? If any. If you think everybody's on top of it, then just say you think everybody's on top.
No, to be 100% honest, I think the governor's guard are doing what is asked of them. Do they know what's being asked of them? Not really. The city guard, then again, they're just doing their best job. Like I trust the city guard. There's a couple of guys in the city guard that Vorys, will still trusts. And then like as far as Berline's guards, he's still kind of apprehensive about all the private guards and everything like that. Even the guards that are stationed outside of our house, he's still apprehensive about, just because everything that he's seen go on, he's he doesn't feel like he's in quite control of it, and that doesn't make Vorys feel at ease.
You're not really a part of any of them. You used to be a city guard. You work for Berline, but not like really directly in her employ. You want to show the governor proper respect, but you don't really work for him either. Yeah,
it's kind of, I work for the city,
right?
And,
but none of these people in charge of it.
Exactly. Like Vorys is kind of realizing that he more and more works for the state of Geb than anything else. And that's kind of new to him, because he never really took that much of an interest into the world around him. He was always kind of stuck in his ivory tower, as to say.
Fair enough. All right. And tell us about our friend Lewis.
I am Lewis. I, again, have been, friends and game top players with Manny for, God, shit. What is it? It's 7 years now, like that we've been playing video games together. It's almost
7
9
years since we started playing tabletop games. The day, like I said, the day 5th edition dropped.
Since we became friends, like
probably long, somewhere around there. 10,
and I hope that my friendship with Manny is the type of friendship that I can have with the rest of these gentlemen that I play with, because I wouldn't play every single week with them if I didn't. So, to y'all, I love playing with y'all, and I can't wait till our next session.
Awesome.
Heck yeah.
That has been our amazing group. That's going to do it for us tonight. We will be back next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, for episode 5 of Bloodlords, title to be determined. We are officially all up, seasons 1 and 2, as well as every other stream show we've done on this channel. They are now all available on YouTube, save for this episode and last week's. So if you'd like, give us a like, follow, subscribe over there. Check out everything we've done. We've done every genre. We've done 3 campaigns now together with this group. Just lots of tabletop action. YouTube.com/@GrowedUpGeek. Give us a sub over there. We really appreciate it. That's going to be it for us tonight. Always remember, I love tabletop role-playing games and the people who play them. We will see you next Tuesday for episode 5 of Bloodlords. Until then, everybody have a good night. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Ah!